Okay, to introduce the Distinguished Business Leadership Award and the 2012 awardee, we'd like to invite a young man to the stage whose accomplishments are wide-ranging and undeniably impressive. In his capacity as USAID Administrator, as well as in previous prominent positions, Dr. Rajiv Shah has championed innovative, results-driven approaches to international aid and agricultural policy. As USAID Administrator, Dr. Shah spearheaded international relief efforts to earthquake victims in Haiti and flood victims in Pakistan. He's worked closely with Dr. Jill Biden to bring assistance to the millions of people affected by famine in the Horn of Africa.
As Undersecretary of Research, Education, and Economics at the Department of Agriculture, he led the USDA's participation in the Obama administration's Global Hunger and Food Security Initiative. And while at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Dr. Shah developed a number of innovative programs and partnerships that address the real issues involving food and hunger.
We're all excited to see what the future holds for this brilliant young man. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Rajiv Shah.
Thank you and good evening. A special thank you to Mika and Joe, and thank you, Senator Hagel, for hosting us this evening. It is really an honor for me to be with such an incredibly distinguished audience, an audience of leaders who have imagined different possibilities for our world in so many different fields, and in particular in different ways to make our country safe and secure. It is in that setting that it's my distinct honor to introduce a friend of mine, Paul Polman. It's unfortunate that just this evening, more than 900 million people around our planet will go to bed hungry. And it's unfortunate that more than 500 million of them are young children. And many of them, because of their chronic hunger, will not have the strength to fight the next illness and will succumb when they should persevere. Many have the strength for their brains to fully develop so they can learn, grow, and contribute to making their world more productive and economically rewarding for their communities. And it's in that world where we're able to honor tonight a business leader, Paul Polman, who runs a massive consumer goods company, Unilever, and has had a very impressive background at Nestle and other firms. And he brings an absolute and unique commitment to ensuring that business leaders around our world commit themselves to literally ending hunger, ending preventable child death, and making sure that the reach of modern capitalism touches even those families that sometimes are forgotten. And it's with his perspective that corporate CEOs and corporate entities have both the responsibility and a tremendous business opportunity in addressing the needs of very poor and often unstable environments, that he has created a number of efforts that are literally changing the way companies, large and small, see their role in addressing these global challenges. He's brought together other CEOs of similarly large firms to say enough is enough, and we have to work together to prevent the next famine in the Horn of Africa, because that famine is both a deep moral blight on our conscience and also a very serious security threat to all of us. He's brought together companies with more than $3 trillion in revenue, trillion with a T, even a big number in this town, so that they could actually think about how they can improve the products they offer and how they could partner with the United Nations and so many other agencies around the world to reach those children who otherwise simply don't get enough calories and certainly don't get enough quality calories to learn, grow, and thrive. And with this new effort, called New Visions for Agriculture, he's helped to make sure that these companies work together with local leaders and local businesses and local governments to make sure that we generate the kind of hard-nosed corporate results that we all value. As a result, he's launching a public-private partnership in Tanzania that could triple Tanzania's agricultural output, generate, together with other efforts, more than 500,000 jobs, and lift 2 million people out of poverty. Paul's worked aggressively with the World Food Program, the frontline partner against hunger and famine, to launch an effort called Together for Child Vitality that has already helped to feed 80,000 children and encourage them to come to school because they get food in school throughout Kenya, Indonesia, and Colombia. The list goes on: deforestation, school nutrition, improved food products for families, and efforts to literally transform the final frontier in food and agriculture, sub-Saharan Africa. There was a time a few decades ago when we celebrated the insights of a young scientist named Dr. Norman Borlaug, who had invented new wheat seed varieties, and in doing so, coupled that invention with his absolute persistence to end hunger, and we awarded him the Nobel Peace Prize for that effort. Tonight's award is not the Nobel Peace Prize, but in many ways, Paul Polman reminds me of what I've learned and when I had the chance to meet Dr. Borlaug, someone who has tremendous vision and intellect, someone who is respected for his leadership in a hard-nosed, results-oriented corporate environment, and someone who miraculously gets up every day, commits his personal time and energy, and somehow manages to bring 20, 30, 40 other CEOs along with him every time he launches a new effort to make the world a better place and to imagine an environment where those kids don't go to bed hungry every night. And for that, I am deeply honored to be able to introduce my friend Paul Polman and to present him with the Atlantic Council's Distinguished Business Leadership Award. Thank you, Paul.
Sacred night, and I think to myself,